Good morning, friends. It's Nancy, and I am here to show you the current journal I'm working on. This is one of the books that I got at the library book sale on Friday, and did a little research. And this author actually wrote 40 romance novels. Most of them were historical romance novels, but this one was written sort of in the present day, which was 1907, 1906, 1907, something like that. And I have got the papers. I have put them in my book press. Make sure that they're good and flat so that this journal won't get too chunky as I start putting bits and pieces in. But what I do want to work on today is for the hashtag Ready Set Stash challenge issued by Chasing Retro. Her channel is linked below, and I keep thinking that there's only 2 days left of September, but there's a whole week yet to go. I'm not sure why I'm determined that I only have 2 days left to accomplish all these challenges. But anyway, one of the challenges is Frankenpaper. So let me just show you the text block again. So if you didn't see my flip through of the, well, not a flip through, but the haul of the books that I got, you missed seeing the pages of these, the decoration of these pages. So I pulled a few out, and it's interesting. Like, they look like they're the same, but they're actually not. Like, even the side images are different. And I love that the page numbers have little hearts. So I've cut some of that blue stuff, and what I want to do is make some journaling cards. I don't know why I have this, but I do, and it's a card that has been laminated. It's 5.5 by 3.5, and I think that that's a good size to make journaling cards or tags. So I am going to take parts of book page and marry them up with some scraps. So I have some paper that has been dyed with purple cabbage. I have some blue ledger that offcuts from previous projects. I have some of this blue paper, and I have this came from a book of samples of paper. These pages. I used my decal edge trimmer to cut off the names of the paper, the brand name. So I'm going for greens and blues, and let's get started. So I think I'm going to go with, and I'll have you know, I just filled up my bottle, so I'm all ready to go. So I'm just going to overlap. And then when they measure, maybe I'll go this way. When they measure that 5.5 by 3.5 inch size, I will stop. And where's my, okay, I'm just going to tear off a little of this. So once I have these cards done, I will be adding some decoration. So what have I got here? So I'm going to tear some of this off. And tear some of that. So this one's going to run in the range of 4 by 6. So it's a little bigger than that, but that's fine with me. So I'm just going to assemble some of these. And I hope you have maybe some papers at hand, and you can craft along with me while I just work away. I have the page number there. I want to take that off. Although it's super cute. To go a little farther. I'm going to take some of that white off. And I've actually done this at work. on my lunch break, I took a box of scraps and just glued them together. I mean, they don't look like very much right now, but this one's a little long because it doesn't have a side, something going vertically. It looks a little disproportionate, so I'm going to take a little bit off. Okay. It's helpful when there's a line to help you find a straight edge. And I like that this is pretty raggedy there. It as the glue from the binding of the book. Okay. Get my trimmer because this has got a bit of a wow in it, and I really wanted that decal edge. So that's about 5 3/4. 3 3/4. I do like that decal edge. Maybe we'll do that some more, although it is kind of noisy, isn't it? Okay, so this one, that's about 4 inches. See a little letter there. Here. So this lacy paper has been dyed with purple cabbage, and some of them came out purple and some of them came out blue. I can't explain it. I don't even remember exactly the technique I used. But tear that bit off. I kind of like it like that, which surprises me. I sure didn't get a lot of paper dyeing done this year. We just didn't have the weather for it. Probably trim that one down. It was kind of like the summer that didn't happen, almost. I think I'll go with that. I've used several different things to dye paper. Tea, of course, coffee. But I've also used spinach. That did not go very good. very well, I should say. I have used avocado skins and pits successfully. And dandelions. I used dandelions once. It's a little small. I'm going to add some green and cut it off. Okay. Hunting for my ruler. All right. So I'm going to turn off the camera, or pause the camera for a bit, and just continue to work away on this. I'm mindful that this can be a little on the boring side. Go this way. All right, so I've got about 2 dozen done. I'm going to remake this one. I don't like it. There's just way too much going on. So I'm going to cut off the ends to remove the small chunks of paper. Turn that around. Okay. And what can we add? What if we added another piece like that? Yeah. I'm going to see about getting the center right under there. So I'm going to center that flower. Okay. Now I can trim down. So it's 3.5 inches wide, and I want it about 5 inches long. Just taking a little bit off there, just to make it a little more proportional. Okay. Now, I have inked the outside edge of all of these pieces. So let's do this one. Now I want to add a back. So these are all, you know, when you get books and there's pages at the front and the back that are just blank, that's what these are. So I've just grabbed a whole bunch of them. Well, some of them aren't completely blank, but Carol won't mind, will you, Carol? No. All right. So I know this one is 3.5 by 5. So I am going to cut a piece that is a 1/4 inch smaller. So I'm going to cut that 3¼ inches. I'm just going to tilt this a bit. And take another 1/4 off in length, so that's 4 3/4. Just brushing the edge to give it some definition and depth. Now, I could use a glue stick to cover the entire back, but I don't need to. That is good enough for me. This one is also 3.5 by 4 7/8. So come here, paper. So I cut another one, 3¼ inches wide by 4 5/8. Okay, so I'm going to finish up backing all of these cards, and then the fun part, we're going to do some decorating. So hold tight. And I've got a few ideas already set up. So I have made a stack of cards. These ones I'm not planning to decorate immediately, so I'll just move those aside. So the first thing I want to do, this is a little tag that I made once upon a time on probably a Take Out the Trash Tuesday. And I thought it looked great right there. So I'm going to glue it on. So none of these finishes are going to take long. The time was mostly in doing the picking. Okay. I have another one that was a Tuesday, Take Out the Trash. So this was a card that had writing in probably German, and then I just put this guy on there, and this was some packaging. And again, I think he looks great there. I made this when I was still upstairs, so it's been languishing in my stash here for a little while. Ta-da! Okay. This one, I've got some ladies. I'm not going to put both of them on there. I'm just trying to figure out which one I would like to use. I think it's her. I'm going to touch her with a little bit of ink. These were cut from a vintage, well, an antique magazine, actually. Before I cut them out, I backed the paper with just some random grid paper that I had no other use for, I guess, at the time, so that my lady would stay in good shape. Again, I'm not distressing her as much as I'm just adding a little color to give her the ability to be distinguished from the background. All right. I have another one here. I filled up my glue bottle this morning so I wouldn't have to fuss. Okay, now this is a vintage, or an antique, sorry, trade card for a grocery store in Bangor, Maine. This is a perfect color. It's a little wide, so I'm going to trim it a bit. I think I'll start with 3 1/4. Probably should have measured that card first, but I didn't. Okay, I'm going to soften that edge with a, might be time to replace this. It's getting a little, just roughen up that edge a bit, round in corner, getting it a little softer, and then ink. I do like that. If this had words on the back, I wouldn't glue it down. I would figure out a different way, because a lot of trade cards have more information on the back. But I made sure that it didn't say anything. Love it. Now, this one, this was from an antique greeting card, and it had these like embossed, probably celluloid, and I thought, what if I put that there? And I maybe attach it with a couple of eyelets rather than gluing it down. So I don't want to, I'm afraid if I use acetone on this, it might have a chemical reaction. So I'm just going to use some white glue. And now, let's use a ruler so I can guess we'll use this. Let me turn it upside down. Okay. Got that centered a little better. So we got 3 1/4. I'm just going to poke. I'm going to put the 2 brads 1/4 inch apart, I think. No, maybe 1/2 inch apart. So I'm going to measure from this side. One and 3/8, and then from this side, one and 3/8, and just going to do little eyelets. Okay. And let's get some matchy-matchy here. I do have these that are a little floral shape. Maybe that will match the flowers. I saw another one. Oh, there it is. Oh no, it's gone. Oop, there you are. Come here. I got a use for you. Put the pin back in here before I have problems. Okay. That one broke. But that's okay, I'm going to use it because the ribbon will cover it up. And just to save time, I'm threading it. This is silk embroidery ribbon. Just putting it on this darning needle, or maybe a tapestry needle, I don't know. It's got a big hole. There, hold that down for me. Now, I think I'll round those corners a little bit so that they don't get broken off. Okay. Now, if I want to, for example, use that as a tuck spot, I can just slide a little piece of paper up there. This one is a little, like I think it's a little watercolor sketch that's been glued on there. I think it's legit. I'm going to trim it down. has a little bit of a beveled edge there. And so I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch from each edge of the painting. Make sure I'm square there. I look square. Just softening it a bit so that it doesn't look like such a fresh cut. I'm not dipping my ink dauber thing into the ink. This is just what's remaining on the sponge because I don't want it dark, I just want it dirty. Nope. Oh, it's not bad. Okay. Now, this one is a Christmas card. I like the front of it. Inside, it's falling apart a little. This is the message. And I think what I'm going to do is just turn it inside out and glue it down. Give it a writing spot and to reinforce it. Where's my thing? There's my thing. There, so it'll have a writing spot on the inside and on the back. What if I leave that edge open just in case I want to use that as a pocket too? I'll do that. This little Missy, isn't she adorable? I'm going to take just a little bit off that edge. Like 3/8 of an inch. Maybe not that much. Let's start with 1/4. There, she's a little more centered in there. Again, there's nothing on the back. It's for Davis sewing machines. She's a perfect color. And I'll leave this side open just in case. You can tuck a little hidden piece of paper in there or something. Oh, this little lady. I think that's great for a photo frame. She's genuinely old. But I don't know what language that is. Oh, this one comes from a book. Just going to trim it up. It's got sort of a gold frame. All right. I think this time I'm actually going to have to dampen my sponge. Perfect. This came from a book. I don't know what it was called. I think it was a book of days. All right, this came from a book, and it has this. I picked it because it has this blue I don't even know what to call it. Something cyanotype, maybe? Maybe that's the correct word to use. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this or not. It's kind of a weird shape. But I think I'll trim it out and give it a look. Let's ink it up. Perfect. Okay, this one is, I made these ahead of time. It's a project from the Big Book of Ideas, and it's just chunks of lace that were attached to a strip of cardboard just to give it to some I almost feel like putting it there, but I want to use it as a tab. So should I go center? Yeah, let's go center. Pretty pretty. I do like that. Have another one. I almost prefer that. Let's have another look. I think I'm going to go with the white on the top. Well, you're cute as the dickens. And one more. So this one, I'm using one of those clusters that I made using the German scraps. And I'm going to use that as a tab on the edge of this. Get some glue going on here. Whoop. Okay, I want to make sure I'm covering up that tape. Yep, you're pretty good looking too. Okay, let's have one last look. Some of these things are pre-mades that I am going to be putting in the journal. Okay, German scrap. Butterfly. And another butterfly. There's a trade card, a Christmas card, a little painting. Is that all? I think that was all we did. So I'd like about 10 cards for this journal. Maybe less. Just depends. How many did I make? One. Oh, there are more. Sorry. That one. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I don't need that many. And then how many do I have left here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 leftovers that I can put in a box and finish up someday. All right, so thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you thought this was interesting and you'll grab your box of scraps. You don't have to use colored paper. You can just use plain paper if you like, or pattern paper for that matter. I just went for subtle. You know, I might have to take this out and iron it because I don't like the bends in that ribbon. Okay, thanks so much. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.